When talking about treaties that changed the world, most people often think of the treaty that ended World War I called the Treaty of Versailles. But this isn't true. The Treaty of Frankfurt set the world stage for many things to come. To set up the beginning of the Treaty of Frankfurt, we have to go back to the Prussian Empire led by Otto von Bismarck and the wars of German unification. Back then, Europe was very different. In fact, there wasn't a Germany. There was only a Prussia and many different German states. Through wars of unification through the Austrian and Hungarian Empire, they were able to consolidate to even smaller German states underneath Prussian control. This didn't sit well, and with the rest of Europe. While Prussia still consolidated many of their lands into what we know as Germany now, the Spanish crown was actually up for grabs, and the Spanish actually extended that crown to the Germans, which France would not allow. This led to the Franco-Prussian War, for which the French were summarily defeated by the Prussians. Though they fought gallantly, they ultimately were defeated, and Prussia, they inflicted many casualties on the French, and Napoleon had to surrender to Otto von Bismarck, which then led to the Siege of Paris, where ultimately the French and the Parisians fell. The Treaty of Frankfurt was very, very, very bad for the French. They lost all of the territories of Alsace and Lorraine, and the Prussian troops marched on Paris, had a parade in Paris. Prussian, now German, the Second Reich was proclaimed in the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles. This changed the epicenter of power away from Paris. Now the epicenter of power in Europe was in Berlin. The French were teaching their kids, what had happened to them in the wars before, and actually made alliances with Russia. And they built $1 billion worth of railroad in order to meet the threat. Then Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. Austria and Serbia, it should have just been them going to war, but Russia and France, they mobilized against Germany, and it was the war that should have never been. At the conclusion of World War I, the Treaty of Versailles made the Germans take full responsibility for the war and placed crippling war indemnities upon them. Monuments were built, and pretty much it set the entire stage. The reason why the Treaty of Frankfurt was so horrible is because it set the stage. No Treaty of Frankfurt, no World War I, no Hitler, no World War II, no Russian Revolution, no Soviet Russia, no Cold War, no Korea, no Vietnam War.